Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. Hope you guys been enjoying the content on the channel as of late. Hopefully you guys can see me. Um, Excuse the exhaustion, a little bit of the tired aura. Just I don't know, just been kind of out of it for the past few days. Not sure if I just got a little cold or something like that. Um, but just kind of taking it easy and planning on watching more films and stuff like that. But I had a video planned for today, but I'm going to push that back. It was going to be talking about um, certain adaptations of certain stories, video game adaptations. Just to be upfront, um, that video will be pushed for a couple of days from now because I want to talk about this certain thing because we talked about it a few times on this channel, but now there is now a conclusion to the story, at least it seems, um, which is, of course, to do with Rust, the infamous movie set where Helena Hutchins, the DP on that set, tragically lost her life due to um, just complete mishandling of firearms and um, more or less with the armor. I even said it way back then when this issue was brought up, or when this tragedy happened, um, that it's completely her fault, the armor, and I hope that she gets legal consequences for it. And ever since then, people were blaming Alec Baldwin for the situation, and for a lot of the time, I was, kind of with the whole mob mentality of it all, where I was like, oh, well, I mean, he wasn't aware that there was, you know, real bullets in the weapon, and, he wasn't previewed to anything. So, so I, I was kind of on his side for a little bit, but um, with this new development, I've kind of come around to, and also just, you know, experiencing a little bit more, just in general with growing more knowledge, gaining a sense of maturity since then. Because when I recorded that was like that was like, yeah, like 2 years ago, and these past 2 years have been very informative to say the least. Um, and We now have some kind of conclusion to this. Baldwin and that armor, as well as a few other people within the crew, are going to be charged with involuntarily manslaughter, and among other charges as well. They could be looking at a prison sentence, both Baldwin and the armor. And this might be pretty unpopular, but I don't care. I mean, it's my opinion. I believe that the charges are deserving for both parties. I think that Baldwin and the armor, especially the armor, um, both deserve the charges. Baldwin, even though he wasn't aware of 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 the bullets, and he wasn't aware that he could kill someone. Um, my way of looking at it is simply this: it's simply murder is murder, right? Not intentional or not, the murder was done, and there is a cause to it, and he is definitely a factor to it all. um, and the way I've made it to my friend just now is that it doesn't look good in court when when your excuse is simply oops, like, oh, my bad, like, it doesn't look well in court, and it also, just in general, it just doesn't hold much weight. It's more understanding, but it doesn't justify the action, because um, someone brought up a good point online. You shouldn't be waving, even if you know that the firearm has no real bullets in it. You shouldn't be waving around a weapon at all on a film set. or even in any manner whatsoever. Like you shouldn't be so careless with such a thing. 'Cause it's not a toy. It's a it's a weapon. It can kill somebody. Um, like and if you're not aware of firearms and how they work, and I know actors are not, then I think that you should probably be a little bit more careful with how you're handling it. And from what it sounded like, Alec Baldwin was being a bit careless with the firearm. So for a while I was on his side, but then doing a little bit more digging and just kind of assessing the situation a little bit more maturely, I actually see where people are coming from when they blame Baldwin because it's he was pretty careless, and even though he didn't know, it still, his actions still led to it contributed to her death. But the person that I still blame fully is the armor. She is to fucking blame for her death, and um, I I really hope that she does time because she is the reason why she died. Baldwin contributed to it, but the armor is to blame. She is responsible for making sure that there are no bullets, real live bullets in those firearms. She has to check the weapons every single time, and she has to make the confirmation and the verification that the weapons are safe to use and hand to the talent. That's her job, and she failed at that, and it cost the life of somebody. Um, and the reason why I find it so infuriating is that she never wants to own up to it. Just recently, with the announcement of their charges, she just decides to go to blast the investigation, saying that, oh well, they didn't really do their job that well. They didn't talk to these certain people or whatever like that. Basically, trying to cover her ass, even though she knows that she is fully responsible for that. Um, because anybody who uses common sense would know that, hey, my job was to do this, and um, well, you can put the pieces together. Wow, I am the reason why that person died. Like I'm surprised that she doesn't just rationalize the situation. It's pretty obvious. It might maybe she's just full of herself. I don't know, but um, but the fact is that if she had done her job, she very much so would have still be here, and she still would be alive. Um, but because you failed at your job, because you decided to be careless, like Baldwin, and that you decided to just because I heard the whole production was just kind of um, careless. Like nobody really was really taking real precautions. They just kind of made a lot of presumptions and assumptions on how to do things, um, and as we see that with acting that way, there are consequences to that, especially when firearms are involved. You have to be careful, even if you know that there is nothing deadly in the chamber or anything of that stature. You have to be careful. You have to be. You cannot just assume anything. You know, um, like it's wrong. It's very very wrong. So, yeah, um, but sorry, that was my brother. Um, but I fully expect or hope that the armor when they because I believe they're going to take this to court. I think that she wants to like take this up to to court, which I would love to see that trial play out because the proofs it's evidence is there. Um, for Baldwin though, it is more tragic, because yes, he wasn't directly involved. I mean, he was involved in that he is the one who fired the shot, but it is, um, as we've illustrated, he didn't know. He wasn't privy to it. It's also not his job to know such things. Um, so, but he is still tied to it. He is still a direct factor cause. So I get why he's being charged, and because me and my friend actually had a very long discussion about gun safety and understanding the law about what it means to to fire on someone. What does that mean? Um, it doesn't mean that you get a free pass because you're acting on civil duty or you're looking to protect someone, self defense, whatever like that. You're still going to get charged. You're still going to have to go to court. You're still probably maybe going to be doing time, like depending on the situation. Like like it's hard for people to just scoot that by. No, you will be given consequences for firing on someone, and it doesn't matter the circumstance. There are still consequences to be made because you know, like no one just kills people and just like and you don't get away with, and you just get away with it. Sometimes within like certain cases that has happened, but generally speaking, if I go walk up and kill somebody, or if there's a an understanding for what has happened, it doesn't grant me an out. I still am going to face consequences, just like Baldwin. Baldwin's is understanding that yeah, he didn't know what was going on, but it doesn't change the fact that he is the one who was being careless with the weapon, and decided to pull the trigger, and what happened happened. Um, so I believe that he deserves the charge because it's just like it's morally the right thing to do. And I think that it's still a very tragic situation. And you know, I I'm I feel bad for the family. And hopefully I don't know what the status of the film is at this point now. Now that there's these legal cases that are going to be happening. Like, is the film still going to be happening? Like, I don't know at this point. Um, I would think not, but you never know. Um, so, um, but but yeah, it's a situation that is tragic. But I also have to say again, because I feel like some people are kind of mischaracterizing this whole thing. This was an issue of gun safety. Now, there are people who will bring up the argument about removing guns off of set. And I said it before and I'll say it again, the issue of guns is not the issue of weaponry, it is the issue of the people. For people who think that the weapon is the problem, you are, in my opinion, very short sighted. A weapon does not function without a handler. It is the person that is responsible, okay? And it is very important for people to understand um, uh, the logistics of handling a firearm. You don't just pick it up and just start doing whatever. That's what children do. That's what they do with toys. Um, and a mature, rational person who knows how to operate a firearm, who knows this and that, can create a sense of safety and just in general make for a safe environment. You know, and I still believe that. And also, these are isolated instances. We bring up stuff like the crow and other things, but we're talking about a handful of issues, not a massive like ongoing thing. This doesn't, like I think that there's a little bit of an exaggeration of like of shootings that have happened on film sets. It's happened, but I don't. It's not happened as often as people like to characterize it. People just are sometimes a little dramatic when it comes to certain things, um, and I feel like the exaggeration over this is a little much. It's happened, but not as often as some people will say. Um, but it's important to maintain safety on a set. It's the number one priority of every set, um, and I for that you have to have the right people um, doing doing the work. And from what I remember, they didn't rely on people who were in the union. They hired out of the union, which is especially when you're putting them in big positions. Um, it's questionable. I would be a little more safe knowing that they had people, um, in the union who were operating on such films, especially with weaponry involved. I mean, I know that that doesn't mean that they still cannot fuck up. They absolutely can. But there's a little bit more of a reassurance, knowing that they're backed by the union because they're having to go through certain processes and verifications. They're not just grabbing someone, a friend of theirs or whatever. A little more professionalism, by hiring professionals. Um, so, so yeah, the charges are understandable, um, and it's very tragic. It's really bad that it had to happen, and whatever happens happens. If Baldwin and company end up spending time in prison, because I think Baldwin's career is done after this as well. There's no way that he gets um, that he because I think his career has been like this for like the past like 2 years. So now I just think like it's over now. Um, but um, but but yeah, it's a really bad situation, or it's a really tragic situation. And as far as what we have laid out for us in terms of the resolution, in terms of this potential conclusion that we're seeing, I feel like it's fair, especially when you sit back and you assess the situation. They were both involved, especially the armor. She was the reason why she died. Um, but Baldwin is definitely part of it. Whether he wants to admit to it or not, he's involved. Um, so I feel like everything that's being laid out for them is completely understandable, and I think very fair. So, so that's my thoughts on this. I'm not sure if there will be anything. I'm pretty sure there'll be more stuff that comes from this, but I think for me, I think that's going to be it. I don't think I need to address this topic anymore. Um, but yeah, I've come around on my stance on Baldwin. Initially, I was defending him, but now I still kind of do, but not in the bigger sense anymore. He was involved, and he deserves to be, and he needs to be laid out consequences. Because, like I said, murder is murder, even if not intended. You still have to. There's still the law. There's still this or that. You don't just get to walk away. You have to deal with that, and you have to have. Um, there are consequences awaiting for you. We're waiting for you. So So that's my thoughts on that. You guys, let me know your thoughts. Do you think that Alec Baldwin deserved to be charged? I'm very curious because I know that this is a very controversial topic. And just remember, it's my opinion, so don't be offended if you are. Um, I'm just I'm just your average film guy, your average white dude. Don't have any legal background or whatever. I'm not really invested into the whole story. I just know just the basis of what happened. Um, but um, but you guys let me know your thoughts if you're like deeply invested into this whole story. You guys let me know if uh, if everything seems reasonable. And that's it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for more content pretty soon, more reviews, more topics. That adaptation video will be out in a couple of days. I just wanted to put out this video just because I just heard the news about uh, the whole thing, Baldwin. So you guys let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Like I said, excuse me if I seem a little tired. It's just just been kind of worn out the past few days. So, but that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Stay safe out there. Wash your hands. Wear your mask. All that crazy stuff, and we'll get through this together. Thank you guys. Catch you next time.